In this video, I'm buying a 1999 Mazda Miata that's been sitting in a parking garage and hasn't started in 4 years. This car actually belongs to a friend of mine, so I knew that it was worth bringing back to life because it's got a ton of cool modifications and it's set up for autocross. But what I didn't know was all of the challenges that it would throw at me. So in this video, I'm bringing you along to buy the car, fix it up mechanically, detail it, restore the interior, and of course, drive it on some beautiful back roads here in Los Angeles. Shifter feels mad nice. How do I put this in my Volvo?
It's missing one cylinder.
Gotta make sure Princess fits.
This is made for us. Yeah, we're taking it. Bro, let me see this shifter. Man,
Bro,
it's in
bang.
a Honda. Yeah, it's all right. You need to get a Japanese car. That's what this is right here, Japanese. It's so light. The whole car.
We're gonna put a battery in the trunk and see if this thing starts. How long did it sit for?
4 years.
Oh!
What the?
Oh!
That's it. New ECU.
No way! That's Miata reliability right there.
Rev it.
Let's go. Oh, it's a nice level of sound. All right, quick walkthrough. We just got this thing started somehow after 4 years of non-op. Started right up like it was nothing. Nice coilovers. The brakes look like they haven't been driven in a minute. New hardtop, which looks good. Trunk is kind of fucked. Interior, we've got 204,000 miles on the dash, so quite a lot. Full catback, which sounds amazing. This thing is sick. It's got an LSD in the rear, 2 sets of wheels, bunch of extra parts. This thing is cool. I am so excited. I might be an idiot, but I bought this car and never actually drove it. My friend Joe drove it here to my garage where we're at now. You can see the V70R behind me. He backed it in here. I've never even popped the clutch once. So we're gonna take it for a drive, a totally legal one, to the car wash because the car is definitely registered and it's definitely smogged and it's definitely not registered as non-operational right now. Let's see how, oh, the clutch is, oh my God. He wasn't lying when he said the clutch is aggressive. Bro, what the, I've never driven anything like that. Bro, the clutch, oh my God, that is so freaking good, dude. Oh wow, the car wash is busy. Oh, what the? I'm that guy revving his Miata now. Yes, officer, it is stock and registered.
Brake is in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, wow. That's a slimy clutch, dude. Ooh. Come on now. Oh, there we go. A clean shift. Dude, that's a heavy clutch, low key. I'm kind of surprised how heavy it is too. Mine was like just like floppy. Like I would just like kind of put my foot on it, and but it engaged and everything, you know. This one's way faster than mine was. I like how it kind of sounds like a lawnmower.
Hey, chill.
No, like a fun lawnmower, like a sexy lawnmower, like a real nice John Deere.
Linus and I were having a fantastic time driving the Miata around, but this didn't last very long.
Sorry.
All right, we were cruising down Sunset. We got a little coolant overflow going on. Oh, look at it! It's ripping as we speak. This dramatic cloud of smoke that you saw was caused by a broken coolant hose, which was basically spraying coolant onto the hot engine, causing this very dramatic cloud of smoke to come out of the engine bay. I was very lucky to break down right in front of AGC Collision Center. A huge shout out to them. One of the techs came out with a bottle of coolant and a knife so that I could cut the broken part of the coolant hose off, reattach it to the coolant bottle, fill the car back up, and before I knew it, I was back on the road. So what looked like maybe a very dramatic breakdown was actually fixed for just about $20 worth of coolant, which is awesome. Unfortunately, this was not the end of my coolant issues, because as I drove the car more and more, I noticed that in stop and go traffic, the car was always overheating. This issue occurred again just a few days later. The car started to overheat on the highway in stop and go traffic, and I knew that I had to make some more dramatic repairs. Jump right in and try and fix the overheating issue. Now, the fact that it only does it in traffic immediately kind of hinted at radiator fan issues. And I took a look at the wiring for the radiator fan, and take a look here. This is the connector for the radiator fan, which you can tell that in itself shouldn't be an issue because those wires are still good. But if we move over here, you can see that the radiator fan wiring has just gone Bluetooth on us. There we go. Now I can strip the wires back. Now with these wires stripped back, I'm gonna reconnect green to green and black to black. First we'll twist them. Let's see if I can solder them together. It's not the prettiest, but as long as it doesn't go anywhere. So I just finished repairing that, which goes to one of the radiator fans here, but I'm looking at the other one, and the wires on this are barely even plugged in. They were just these loose, random connectors. I'm gonna spray that connector out. Well, I can't say I'm proud of that, but it seems like I've crimped both of these tight enough that they're actually on the pins now. Both of the radiator fans were now working and the car no longer overheated, which was fantastic because I could now drive it around and accumulate some miles on this thing. But it wasn't long before I ran into my next major hurdle, with this car, which was the California smog test. Unfortunately, the car did not pass because of too many hydrocarbons in the exhaust gases, and now this could be for a ton of different reasons. It could be anything from burning too much oil, which would be catastrophic because it would require a full engine rebuild. But I'm going to start simple and do a basic oil change, a spark plug change, and some other basic maintenance to see if I can clean up the exhaust gases and register it to drive here in California. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take the first look under this car together and see what I got myself into. It looks fairly dry. I think that's some water from the car wash earlier. That's the drain plug for the oil pan. You can see the Flying Miata suspension up there and a Racing Beat sway bar in the front, which looks pretty beefy. No like major leaks, which is always a nice surprise. And then back there you can see the full Megan Racing, I think it is, exhaust with a carb legal cat. Sounds pretty good, sounds a little Honda-esque, but nothing we can do about that. Let's break that drain bolt loose and see what the oil looks like. Unfortunately, the spark plugs don't look too terrible. I was hoping they'd look like shit. Oh no, maybe they are pretty worn down. That gap looks pretty big. Okay, these might be good to replace. There's new versus old. I can't really tell if it's gonna make a huge difference, but it definitely won't hurt. Pretty bad. I've actually made this car worse somehow. So let's figure out what that's about. Oh, I'm an idiot. I swapped 2 spark plug wires around. Miata just passed Smog. Big victory. Stoked, and it runs better with the spark plugs. Easy fix, easy car to work on, and now I can register it. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are driving my 1999 Mazda Miata on the road legally. The thing feels absolutely incredible up here. You can just tell that this is what this car was made for. The alignment, the suspension setup, the sway bars, all of it feels really good, and you can tell that when you throw this thing into a corner, the camber is just working, and it really grips up like nothing I've ever felt before. It's so engaging. There's so much feeling, so much response from this light little chassis. Like, it's unbelievable how quick this thing can change direction. Maybe I'll try and pop the top, because that's what Miatas are about, baby. Now, there is a lot left that needs to be done on this car, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video today. We're going to completely detail the exterior and interior of the car to try and undo 4 years of sitting in a dusty parking garage. And then, of course, we're also going to take care of a bunch more maintenance and do some upgrades like new brake pads, some cooler interior pieces, and just make this thing a nice NB Miata for the back roads. This is my first time ever washing and detailing a car to this extent. I've never even washed a car with 2 buckets before. I've always gone to the coin-operated pressure washing stations, so this is my first time trying this. I'm going to cut and polish the car as well, and we'll ceramic coat it after and see if I can't bring this paint back to life a little bit, because it is quite faded from sitting for 4 years. The amount of work that goes into a polish like this is absolutely no joke, but I think it's going pretty well. And for my first try, I think the car looks a lot better than it did before. The swirl marks are gone and the paint is just a little cleaner. I don't want to go too far with it because I'm afraid of burning through the already very thin clear coat. So I think I'm going to leave it here, and now we're going to ceramic coat the car to protect the paint from fading further in the future. If you have a lot of faded clear coat like my Miata and you're cheap, this stuff really does a pretty good job at hiding it and making it look just a little more presentable. The only way to actually fix this would be to paint it, but I think for a quick little wipe, the left looks a lot worse than the right, which has been ceramic coated. Right.
That's beast.
That's YouTube, baby.
I know, bro.
Total the car.
There's our old crusty wheel. Beautiful. Oh, yes. Dude, look at that.
That's beast.
That's awesome. That looks so good. Oh, yes, dude. Ooh, that looks fantastic. Oh, that's so good. The cosmetic portion of the car is done for now. I will be changing the wheels later in the video when I get some new tires And I do have to clean under the engine bay a little bit as well, but I think it's time to move under the hood and start doing some mechanical work because the car can look good, but it doesn't drive so well right now, and I have a couple parts to fix that. We're gonna do some motor mounts. I have a new wiring connector for my radiator fan that I showed you in the last video that was wired up kind of sketchy. And finally, some performance brake pads so that this thing stops well, because right now going downhill, the brakes fade extremely quickly. So we've got some EBC red stuff brake pads, and I think those motor mounts are gonna make a huge difference as well, because right now the motor's kind of flopping around in the engine bay because they seem like they're original, which is insane at 205,000 miles. So let's get to work under the hood and fix this thing mechanically. There's the before, and that's the after. Pretty big difference.
Wow, this one looks so much better than the other one. This is really amazing things about ceramic coating and shaping.
With the radiator fan fixed, it's time to support the engine so that I can do some motor mounts on this car. I think they're gonna make a huge difference. They look very old. And man, I will say it's a little leakier under here than I expected. There it is, one motor mount. Here's the old one. You can see it's torn right in half. Here's the new one, much stiffer. This is gonna make a huge difference to the way the car drives. Look at that, that's all it took. Now I can try and slide our new motor mount into the engine down there. Let's see. So close. There we go. Now I gotta drop the entire engine down just a touch. Now I have to actually drop the engine on 2 bolts because I accidentally got one of the bolts stuck under the jack stand here. Now just to snug up the last bolt. brakes look fantastic. I'm excited to see how EBC Red Stuff brake pads feel because I've never actually used a performance set of brake pads, believe it or not. I've always just bought the AutoZone Special. And so now we can throw the wheels back on. And there is one more project that I want to tackle after this, which will be the shifter rebuild. While the car is stationary, it feels good, but once you start driving it, the shifter gets kind of sloppy. So I ordered a rebuild kit, and we'll be tossing that on. And then it's time to go for a rip. I feel like this thing has been absolutely transformed in this video. Doesn't even look like the same car we started with. Also, what do you guys think? I have these wheels available as well. It came with 2 sets of wheels to sweeten the deal. And I think I like these a lot more. I think a lighter color wheel would look great on this darker color car. I just need new tires on them because these are absolutely bald. These are now racing slicks. So I think if I get a new set of tires, I might throw them on these wheels as opposed to these. Because although I like the 949 racing wheels, I'm not a fan of black wheels on a dark car. Or on any car, really. Now we're gonna take a look at this shifter here and see if there's anything that can be done, because right here it feels good, but once the car gets moving, I don't know what it is. Yeah, see there, it like binds up. There it goes. Oh, there's one more. So that's all play right there. Now I'd imagine we remove these little guys. Well, never seen that again.
It sounds like it went on the ground.
It did go on the ground, I think. Ooh, that stinks. It smells like gear oil. Oh man. What? That's where you fill the transmission? That's just straight oil in there. That's crazy. This is our shifter fork, and this is an OEM style replacement bushing that you would clip onto there. Now the original one that's supposed to sit in there has just completely disintegrated. So there was no bushing left in that transmission. Now I've got a brass upgraded one, which should feel really nice and direct. So we're just gonna plop this into there. I don't know if you can see that, but you kind of just drop it into there. We're gonna slide this guy back in, whichever way it wants to go. And then I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna rebuild the rest of this at some point later. I just wanna be able to replace that boot, and I don't have that boot right now. Let's see. My God, you have no idea how much better that feels. It's like it just got a short throw shifter. Whoo! It's crazy how much less far the shifter moves now because it's not moving more that way for all that slop that was in the bushing. Oh man. This is a big W. I need a new one of whatever this is too. God, that's disgusting.
Really good.
Nice. Dude, yes.
I can't wait to feel it.
It's so much better. First impressions, the idle's about 4 million times smoother, and just not expecting it, I went to grab the steering wheel and it feels so good. The The shifter's a lot tighter too. I don't know if it's perfect yet. I think we need to install those other bushings as well. Oh man, the motor mounts. Huge difference. It's just actually smooth now. And it used to vibrate like crazy. Like, I don't know if you remember, but this thing used to just shake like that in its place. Now it's super smooth in here.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't even feel like the car's on.
It's very quiet, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, and the wheel feels so good in your hands. It's actually like a sporty wheel, like it's got some nice moldings for your hands to sit right there. That's awesome. And the shifter is crispy now. Oh yeah. All right, quick thoughts. Motor mounts are incredibly smooth. The shifter's crispy. The steering wheel feels lovely. It looks nicer to be in here now. I think this has been a huge success. Let me go show you what the paint looks like too in some good light.